from my great state of Maryland, Senator Chris Van Hollen, who serves on the important Senate Budget Committee as the ranking member of the Appropriations Subcommittee. So, Senator Van Hollen.
Thank you. All right.
You may remember he and I
Yes.
used to be colleagues in a building right down that
Yes,
way.
indeed.
So
And
nice to see
it's
you.
wonderful to have you as a constituent. Thank you for all your leadership. And your signs sum it up beautifully. Protect cancer cures, protect hope. Invest in science, invest in progress. That's why you're all here. And I want to thank the American Cancer Society and the Cancer Action Network and all of you for being here to say loudly and clearly, we need to invest in the research that saves lives. I want to thank Teresa for her amazing personal story. I want to thank all the survivors. I want to thank all of you who are patients right now fighting cancer, and to all the providers and everybody who's helping all of these individuals and families. Our heart and thanks go out to all of you first and foremost. And you know that thanks to the advocacy of the American Cancer Society over many decades, we have, because of your work and the investments we've made, we have developed new treatments for so many cancers. And we are helping prolong lives and in many cases save lives. But we also know we have a very long way to go, because in 2025, 2 million new cases of cancer are expected to be diagnosed. 600,000 of our fellow Americans are projected to die from cancer. Many have already died this year, and more are projected to die. You know, my mother died of cancer 18 years ago. Her story is one of a person who benefited from the important research that had been done, in that her life was prolonged. We had more time with my mom because of the good work that you've done in the research that had been done. But we also could have had my mom around for a lot longer and a lot more happy days together if we had done more research. And that is why we're all here today. And it is absolutely true that cancer is not something that should be red or blue or Republican or Democrat. And I am pleased that both in the Senate Appropriations Committee and in the House Appropriations Committee, we have increased funding above this year's level. Not by what I would like to see, but still above last year's level. But this should not have to be a fight. It is not a partisan issue. I'm glad that on a bipartisan basis, at least to date, we've rejected the proposal from the administration. I mean, let's face it, they proposed to cut NIH by 40%. I am proud to represent NIH and NCI in the United States Senate in terms of we're proud to have them in Maryland. Are there any Marylanders in the House? All right. But we shouldn't have had to spend months and months defending NIH and NCI. Thousands of researchers were laid off. I've been outside of NIH headquarters many times with those researchers who want to save lives and be able to do the work. They were laid off. Cancer trials were interrupted and delayed as a result of what happened. Thank you to the courts who have said some of the cuts that they wanted to make could not be made. That's very important that the courts were there. We've had some good court decisions and some not so good court decisions. But the bottom line is we all need to come together, as you are today, to make sure that we provide this funding. And I'll end with this. As we provide the funding, we also need to make sure we have safeguards and guardrails to make sure that the funding that we provide is actually spent as intended. Because the monies that were appropriated for 2025, we shouldn't have to fight so hard to get them expended. And even now, political games are being played with that money. Even now, there's talk of what's called forward funding. I don't want to get too much in the weeds, but this is a way to stop some research from going forward now. And here's my view. We need to proceed with any good idea. We need to be able to fund any good idea that may help save lives or reduce suffering. And no good idea should be left on the table for some political reason. So thank you again for being here. Thank you for being in this fight. This is not something that we can take for granted. This is not on automatic pilot. This is a choice that we make, and this is a choice we must make to protect cancer cures and protect hope. Thank you all very, very much.
Sorry for the loss of your mom, but thank you for sharing the story. Look forward to
you.
working with you.
Thank you. Nice to see you.